So, as we look at the league right now, we need to talk about this OKC versus Spurs matchup. This matchup was the most expected matchup for a while because obviously they put these two teams together just to see Chet versus Wembanyama. Two young guys who haven't played in the NBA yet. They've both been out. Victor Wembanyama, obviously, he's a rookie, and Chet, due to the fact that he got injured from playing in a summer league in 2022 before missing the entirety of his first NBA season. Now, he did get injured, it was a serious injury, but also the OKC Thunder set him out for the year because since they had an excuse, they could actually get away with, having these players be out of the season and lose a lot of games to get another high draft pick, which they did in the next draft. So when we look at the Thunder, when we look at a lot of these guys, what we have to look at really is, and when we look at this matchup between Thunder and Spurs, what we have to look at is which big man is better. Obviously, I just want to say that this is the Rookie of the Year race. These two players are the two favorites, Victor Wembanyama being one, Chet being second. And they're both players which are extremely good, but are extremely rough in their abilities. Due to the fact that they've never really, had that chance to shine in the NBA before. With Victor, we saw him drop 20, and with the Spurs in general, we saw them lead for most of the game. They've hit a lot of good shots, and Victor, especially in the first half, was really good, really efficient, doing the most of his opportunities. And there's something which I do want to highlight here, which is Victor's just gonna be a monster. Like, even if he's not that good when it comes to physicality, because in this game, even though he looked good, he was playing against one of the weakest teams in the league. When it comes to Victor, we see a clear pattern with him where it's like, first, he's new to the NBA. So you could obviously see that he's having trouble. As I said, the Thunder are one of the weakest teams in the league when it comes to just pure strength. And you see that from the fact that they don't have really any really beefy players or players which can really, cause some damage down low. It's caused them to always, they're known for having really weak centers like Pokuševski, Chet, and other guys like that, lanky point guards like Giddy. And really their strongest player in their starting lineup is probably Lou Dort. Shea is also pretty skinny, and and maybe Jalen Williams, I think he is pretty strong too. But when we look at this team, what we've seen is that they have a star in Chet. 2 for 2 from 3, 7 of 10 from the field, but got 21 points with 9 rebounds and 1 assist, and only played 16 minutes. Let me repeat that, 21 points on 10 shots, 7 free throws, 9 rebounds, 2 of those being offensive rebounds. That's an assist and a block and no turnovers. Like, the Thunder are winning the game right now. He is the reason why they're winning the game right now. And if we're being completely honest, Chet has been the player to look out for when it comes to the future of the OKC Thunder. That's not Shea Gilgeous-Alexander when it comes to like pairing those together. I feel like also this game we saw that Jalen Williams is here to stay. Even though he had a pretty bad game, he still put up 12, and they still, in the end, it took a pretty commanding lead, which is really good to see when a young player can still contribute to a game, even if they are not going to be the best player in the game. We see other guys contributing like Malachi Branham. We see guys like Davis Bertans now making his debut for the Thunder, a vet. He's, a good player. Isaiah Joe scoring 14. And really, just a bunch of their young guys. PreSeason is like godly for the OKC Thunder as they finally get to test out all of their players and really make sense of what their lineup is going to look like. Because as they only have 3 certains, Josh Giddey, Shea, and Chet, with Jalen Williams now becoming a certain in recent times. Then, when we look to the other side of the coin, when we look to the other player, to the team which is losing right now as the game is still going on, we look at the Spurs. Now, the Spurs have been a great team all throughout. They've been a team which has consistently been great when it comes to like the past 2 decades. They're a team which has consistently been well coached, well managed, and has just had always a plan. And this year, their plan was rebuild. When we see guys, in the Spurs, now we look at their superstar, Victor Wembanyama. They re-signed their young guard, Devin Vassell. They have guys like Malachi Branham, as I talked about, who's going crazy, hit a really clutch three right now, which I really like that shot. They got guys like Zach Collins, guys like Trey Jones, which they just signed, and guys like Doug McDermott, just to name a few of the guys who played well. They also signed guys like Chetty Osman, Malachi Branham. As I already talked, I don't know. I think he's just having such a great game. It's just I can't stop talking about it because he has got 2 for 2 from three and 6 for 8 from the field. And when we look at the Spurs, they're just a really young team. They have their centerpiece. They have their guy. But when we really take a look at them as a whole squad, we could see like, this team is here and this team is actually good. We don't have to care about what this team is going to do right now because really the whole point is develop the team with Wembanyama the same way that you did for, a guy like Duncan, where you developed the team around him and you made it so that he was the guy who the team built around with David Robinson coaching him. You want Shea to be kind of that leader for the team with Chet developing and Pop being the leader. Meanwhile, Victor develops. For these two teams, they're in very similar situations. They're two rebuilding teams, if we're being 100% honest. And they're two teams which have taken a lot of pride in their rebuild. They're both two teams which have made spectacular moves and chose to rebuild at the perfect times, as OKC has like all the draft picks in the world, and the Spurs are really a great franchise which got probably the best prospect we've seen in the last 20 years. It's the last second. Can he hit the dagger? Wait, guys, the game is ending. The Spurs are coming down court. It's 121. The Spurs are losing. They come down the court, and the dude gets blocked. He got blocked. Oh, my God. He just got blocked. And I don't know if it was a foul or not, but I'm pretty sure it was not. And they're just going to inbound the ball. Oh, my God. He just shot the three from their wing. They inbounded the ball, and he missed. The Thunder win by 1 point in, I'm pretty sure, overtime. And wow, that was a great game, honestly. It had a lot of ups and downs. Shout out to the Thunder for pulling that one out in the end. But when we really look at, the teams and these two teams, as the Thunder just won. Shout out to the Thunder. We could really see just a real focus on the young Trey man, right? Both of the Jalen Williams, like a guy like even guys who you don't expect to even, be playing in these like systems, like Justin Champagne, which is now on the Spurs, he's playing there. But that guy, he's 22. He's like one foot out of college, and he's already on the Spurs starting in their summer league game. Even though he had a bad game, it is something to marvel at, the fact that these teams have such young players coming in and out of these games. When we look at the Thunder, when we look at Chet, when we look at Victor, when we look at them together and them facing off, we really see two stars of the league merging. We see two guys which love the game. They're really passionate about what they do. They've been consistent in their approach to always be great, right, and be great draft picks. They both wanted to be number one, and they both love the experience throughout it. And they've both been drafted to teams which are looking to maximize them and have cultures, systems, and players to really make their stars better. Shout out to the OKC Thunder for winning this game. Shout out to Chet for the monster performance. And shout out to Victor for the good performance that he had too, even though his team lost. I do want to say that these young stars look promising, they look good, and they look like they're about to run the league. See you next video.